Token Metrics is a cryptocurrency investment platform that helps users leverage machine learning to become better crypto investors. Our in-depth analysis helps eliminate the emotions of investing, find profitable investment opportunities, and filters out scams. Learn more at TokenMetrics.com.
We are live. Welcome to the Market Update. I'm your host, Bill Noble. If you need a roadmap in crypto and you need to make money in crypto, subscribe to this channel. Turn on the alerts bell so we're going live, so you know when we're going live. And if you like the content, please give us a thumbs up. A lot of exciting stuff to go over today. We're going to figure out if momentum has returned to the crypto market. In other words, are we done with the range trading BS and has a trend begun? Today, we will leverage all the good things that come from Token Metrics. All right. So if you've ever wondered why or if you should subscribe to TokenMetrics.com, I will show you today. Yesterday, we discussed how a subscription could pay for itself in a day or days. And so far, that's tracking. So let's welcome all our friends on the stream. Sheldon, Aiken, Notorious Love, thank you. Daydream from Los Angeles. Tyson, Good News Tuesday. Yes, as a matter of fact, it is. Tampa, Florida. Sheldon wants to know, is it a bull trap? Is it? Let's talk about that. I'm doing okay. Thank you from Canada, live from India, up late at night. All right. Hello from Greece, Hamid. Notorious Love. Appreciate that. Driftless is here. Eric, welcome to the show. We have Quebec. All right. Now, what we're going to do today is we are going to kick into your market update. Mo, as in momentum. Is Mo back? Is this a momentum market where all of our friends from Madrid, Bulgaria, Nigeria, and the UK, along with Luxembourg, is this a market where you can FOMO into it or buy shallow dips? Okay. Andre says, no, this is not a market where you can do that. All right. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Now let's talk about bonds. This is the daily chart for IEF, the U.S. Treasury Bond ETF. So when rates rise, IEF falls. We have a 13 and a 9 bottom, and bonds are crashing. But crypto is still managing to go higher. Now, bonds are crashing because the Fed is on the tape talking tough about inflation. Thing is that bad for crypto? Well, it's supposed to be, but so far it's not. Okay, interest rates, the yield on the 10-year note bond. So as the price of IEF goes down, the interest rate in the bond market for the 10-year note is going up. I had 239 as a possible target. We'll see if that acts as resistance. If it doesn't, it's probably going to throw cold water on crypto. However, I suspect that the future of money trade, people who have been watching me on YouTube have listened to me and my colleague Forrest, along with me, for all of last year, talk about the future of money, right? Crypto as a way for people to protect their purchasing power. Now, I'm just going to tell you right now, if we or you are investors cannot do this trade now, I don't know when, I don't know what time or what set of circumstances we would be able to do this trade. I mean, I don't know. Are we all going back to the Stone Age before somebody discovers crypto as the future of money? Or are we going to do the trade now? Now, let's look at Galaxy Digital, stock of my favorite crypto hedge fund, run by Mike Novogratz. Now, Galaxy did an explosive move outside of a triangle. Okay, enormous bullish signal because all the recent new lows were not confirmed by stochastics. That means price made new lows, but momentum indicators made higher lows. That's why you get these explosive gap moves that we've had lately. So normally Galaxy is a leading indicator, and Galaxy seems more like a follower. But given the amount and the percentages that it's moving, I mean, Galaxy is gapping in 10 to 15% increments, right? So if Galaxy can gap, so can crypto. So this suggests the idea, right, of crypto doing like, I don't know, a month's or a year's worth of upside in a very condensed period of time. In other words, I'm talking about momentum. Okay, that's a polite word for the possibility of intense FOMO. Yesterday, we discussed long Bitcoin, short the banks, with Bitcoin going to 47K. That Bitcoin prediction may be too low based on what can happen. All right, let's discuss why. So here we have the Bitcoin chart we discussed yesterday, right? 40,000 is support. The next level is probably either 44 or 47. Some of our work suggests this thing could go as high as 52. Okay, so this assumes we're entering a momentum market. So someone is asking me, okay, would you buy Ethereum or Matic now? Should I jump in? We will get to this. Okay, I think the nature of the market is changing to where it's going from a range to a market where you can try to buy pauses or shallow dips. All right. Again, we'll go through the details. Okay. So if it's wrong, use a stop. I went, 52K, right? And if it doesn't work, I don't care. Because if you can't do this trade now in crypto, I don't know when you're going to do it. Now, this is a custom built index. So who is Token Metrics, right? What do they do? Well, it's a company. We have a lot of smart math guys, right? So one of our smart math guys at my request made an index. So that chart represents a group of cryptos: Bitcoin, Litecoin, Dash, Nano, Bitcoin Cash. All right. So Bitcoin and related cryptos that can be used as money along with Nano. Okay. Now, what's interesting about this chart? Well, nothing, because the future of money, the digital cash solution trade, no one's doing it. This reminds me of layer ones last year. This time last year, I told you to buy every layer one that was trading under $1 or under $5. You would have said you're out of your mind. And then Solana, AVAX, Phantom, right, Near, all these coins exploded. Exploded. Why? Because no one was paying attention and no one owned them. It's as simple as that, right? As simple as that. Then once everyone owned them, what did they do? Well, they went down. And that's the way markets work. Okay, so who's long? I mean, people are long Bitcoin, but Bitcoin is becoming very scarce. And who's long fast-moving digital cash solutions in a world that's upside down? The world's upside down, right? Like, here's an example of how upside down the world is. Here's a cover of The Economist with, you know, the leaders of China and Russia on the front. And on the back is a Louis Vuitton ad. So is it bad guys or luxury goods? The world doesn't know which way to go. The world needs new money now. All right. What is interesting about this particular chart, as the world kind of evolves a new monetary order. Okay, the cover of that magazine says a new world order. Right now, the Bitcoin grade, the Token Metrics daily grade for Bitcoin has risen to 88, and the weekly grade is also rising. So the Token Metrics quant engine is going positive Bitcoin. Meanwhile, digital cash solutions are just kind of starting to perk up. This is the use of token metrics, right? You get to say, all right, is this rally worth jumping into? Is it, right? Is there any math behind the decision-making to jump in on quick dips? Okay, this is Bitcoin, okay, on our low frequency trend indicator chart, okay? So it's a moving average system that takes into account business school, finance, mathematics, along with momentum indicators. Now, as you can see in the bottom right-hand corner, this thing has been a little confused by this range trade because it's a momentum indicator. So naturally, it's going to get chopped up in a range. Now, in the past, if you look back in November, it's probably hard to see on the chart, but this thing actually got everyone out, right, in early November, right? As soon as it went down from the high, this thing told you to get out. This is kind of like our marquee chart. It shows the best, okay, which is getting you out at the top, right? And it also shows what happens when the market gets choppy. Now, recently, there's been a bull signal. It's gone green. That's the black arrow in the bottom left. Now, why should you take that signal? Why does that signal matter? Well, because the Bitcoin grade, the Token Metrics artificial intelligence-based grade for Bitcoin has gone to 88. Bitcoin is really still inside of its range. So that AI grade is perking up, and that weekly number is now at a 70, right? So as these grades head for 80, if they get there and stay there, you can have more confidence in the up move. So let's recap what I've said. Galaxy Digital is a leading indicator, and it's going up. There's a new world order, okay? And Bitcoin is started to move with some mathematical evidence that suggests the market has legs. Now, this is an indicator. This is a custom indicator, all right? This is a custom indicator like the one I showed you earlier from our quant department. So if you're a Token Metrics subscriber, this is the type of work that you'll see presented in our customer webinars. We're highlighting it today on YouTube so that we can help, not only help, we can help you and help show you how a Token Metrics subscription can help you make money. So interesting, this is an aggregation. So we take all the Token Metrics grades from all the coins and we make one chart out of it and one signal. So of all the Token Metrics grades for all the coins, what's it telling us? Well, it told you to get out at the top, right? And now for the first time in a long time, it's suggesting get back in. So yes, believe it or not, the guy who says don't FOMO is presenting mathematical evidence that if the market breaks out, you may want to go with it because there may be upside here that make it worth the risk getting in on a dip at the top end of the range. In other words, when do you switch from range trading to trend trading? Well, here's an example, right? I would go with my guy's mathematics, and we'll go into it more in a minute. Okay, so again, this could be the start of a big up move in crypto. In other words, if there was ever going to be a big up move in crypto, Token Metrics is telling you it's now, which is why you should take advantage of a 25% off sale, okay, for Women in Crypto or Women's History Month. WIC25ALL, Women in Crypto 25 all, gets you a 25% discount on Token Metrics. Okay, if Bitcoin gets to 52K, that pays for itself quickly. Let's talk about another function of Token Metrics, the Token Metrics Indices. What's that? Well, it's a grouping of coins. The AI picks out some of the coins that are doing well for different exchanges, groups them together so you can say, all right, hey, what's good for today? On crypto.com, click. Now, if you see the same coin in there over and over and over again, day after day after day, that's a sign the trend has legs. So if we like Bitcoin today and it could go to 52K, but the market falls apart tomorrow, these indices will change. But for the moment, right, Crypto.com's daily index allocation, Elrond, Rune, okay, wrapped Bitcoin and Bitcoin itself. Bitcoin accounts for 47% of the Crypto.com index. Interesting, right? In other words, some of the other indicators are picking up on momentum, and that's being reflected by the AI into these portfolio groupings. So you're like, okay, Bill, if I go to Token Metrics, because I got to do this. I wake up every day and go, okay, what's the AI saying about the market? Okay, Elrond. People asking about Elrond. I know you're out there. Okay, we've been looking at weekly charts. We started doing that yesterday, right? Weekly charts. We got an Elrond 9 bottom from earlier in the year. Elrond tried to go up but failed. There was a stalemate, and now Elrond is starting to move up again. So the AI obviously is picking up on the momentum trade. Sometimes the AI looks at things in consolidation. Sometimes the AI picks up on a trend. Okay? Right? They're looking at Bitcoin and Dash and Litecoin and Bitcoin Cash in consolidation, and it's looking to kind of go with the Mo in Elrond. Now, in Elrond, when you go with the Mo, okay, if something happens in Elrond, this thing can go, you've seen what this thing can do, right? So should you FOMO into Elrond? Well, that's up to your risk tolerance. But if the AI is picking up on something that can go from 180 to 400 like that, it's time to pay attention. Okay, let's look at the KuCoin index. Notice that's picking up on Elrond, right? That's on the left in blue. Wrapped Bitcoin and Bitcoin account for almost 40% of the index, and Kyber, which has done nothing but go up, has also been in the index. Okay. Pirate Coin, ARRR, which is up 15% today, was also prevalent in the KuCoin indices, okay, a couple weeks back. All right. That coin has also smoked higher and giving you some gratification. So these indices are a great way to find out what's next. Okay, the All Exchange Index, again, Bitcoin and Elrond showing up in there. So sometimes this index can move to all cash. I'm interested to see if Bitcoin stays in the index. Now, let's talk about the future of money. What is my joke on the stream? Every time I talk about Dash, Zcash, Litecoin, or Bitcoin Cash, the market dumps. That's been that way for like 2 years, even in the bull market, right? When those coins would move, the market would dump. Period. All right. Has something changed? Yes, we have a new world order, a new world monetary order, right? Where the world is deciding, is it like bad guys or is it like Lambos? Or is there a new idea? Is there a new idea about the future of money? Now, we have Dash, okay? Dash is, used in Venezuela to pay for things. People have come on the stream and says it's garbage. No one uses it. Okay, fair enough. But there's a green buy signal in Dash. Okay, Dash is it's a fast payment system. Fast payment systems are going up. So if Bitcoin smokes to 52K, where can Dash go? Well, our AI is giving you the first buy signal in 3 months. Okay, Nano, okay, XNO, digital cash solution, very quick, very cheap. First buy signal in quite a while. Okay. In other words, remember that thing where I was the custom index of the digital cash solutions? It's done nothing. It's done absolutely nothing. What happens if this stuff wakes up all at once? Okay, Zcash, bullish signal in Zcash, then it dipped, then it rallied. That's kind of typical. You'll get these momentum signals. There'll be a pause. And then if the momentum signals are going to work, obviously it takes off after the pause. Litecoin, I know, don't laugh. Litecoin, right? Ridiculous. No one would ever do it. It's a shit coin. I get it, right? But this thing got you out of Litecoin around 200. Right now at 100 something, it's getting you back in. What happens if people start using this as money? How much pain on purchasing power can people put up with, right? Before somebody says, Jesus, I got to get a currency that appreciates. I got to take a shot. I mean, what are people going to do? Wait for the Fed to raise interest rates from 0.25% to 8% to stop inflation? I mean, what's everyone waiting for? Okay, let's look at Litecoin. Litecoin actually moved above a fractal, and the Williams moving averages, okay, those are those lines that represent moving averages from various time frames, except they all go on one chart. Those moving averages, that momentum trade, okay, a different type of signal, same family as the Token Metrics stuff. Token Metrics stuff uses machine learning, but this is just straight up old school type of indicator. This is pointing up, right? A trend could be starting. So Litecoin, after annoying everyone and trading in a range between 100 and 116, is moving up. Now, you don't have to do Litecoin. You don't have to like Litecoin, but you have to think about this. If Litecoin could go up, what could happen to higher quality cryptos? What could happen to ETH? Stay tuned for that. What could happen to Bitcoin? Okay. Sometimes these smaller cryptos lead and the big ones follow. So I'm painting this picture. What happens, or let me ask you this, is your portfolio positioned to wake up one day and have this stuff gap up 20%? Okay, we know there's war risk. We know you can wake up one day and have it all be down if something terrible happens. But are you positioned to wake up one day and have all this stuff go up 30%? Okay, Litecoin versus Bitcoin. So Litecoin versus Bitcoin naturally has done nothing but go down because Litecoin is a technological shitcoin. However, it is money and fast Bitcoin. All right, as Litecoin versus Bitcoin has gone down, the momentum indicator, the 13-week RSI, has been making higher lows. This means you could wake up one day and you could have a repricing of digital cash solutions. It may not be Litecoin, but looking at this, looking at the stock of Galaxy Digital, this thing where price made new lows, but momentum made higher lows, has triggered up moves. Maybe it's a day, maybe it's a week, all right? But I'm showing the worst of the bunch, because if the worst of the bunch moves, the best of the bunch may move as well. Bitcoin Cash, everyone hates it. No one would touch it, right? Well, when this thing goes up, it's a face melter, just like when it goes down, right? When it pumps, okay? Token metrics in the bottom right-hand corner, the low frequency visual trends indicator. In other words, our indication of momentum based on technology. Bitcoin Cash is beeping green. So could there be a face melting rally in digital cash solutions? You want to know how many YouTubers are talking about the future of money? 2. Me and the guy over at Crypto Stackers, Forrest. That's it. We are the only 2 guys talking about this. Now, Forrest is kind of like a quasi nano maximalist. He's a big proponent of that particular solution. So I hope Nano moves and he becomes famous. One of the things that I hope for you is that if this trade actually happens, that you're on it. In other words, if this is the next layer 1 trade, right, from last year, in other words, if what is old from 2017 becomes new again, then I want you on it. If you get stopped, we get stopped, okay? Bitcoin Cash versus Bitcoin. Massive new low, right? Momentum indicators making higher lows. Now, Bitcoin Cash is still weak versus Bitcoin. Okay, there's no indication of a shift in momentum, but that move below the January lows, right? When Bitcoin Cash, when they just said, "Oh my God, I give up." This is a give up trade in a very big crypto that, if it turns around, can melt faces. So I'm bringing it to your attention, especially since the artificial intelligence is telling you to pay attention to it for the first time since October, mind you. Okay, Monero, all right, privacy. Token metrics went bullish. There was a dip, and then there was a grinding up move. So again, all these coins that usually go bullish and then the market dumps, as of today, March 22nd, that's not happening. That's not happening. Okay. Now let's talk about ETH. The orange line, or I'm sorry, the blue line is the inflation metric. Okay. It's called 5-year break evens. Now, there is an error on the chart. It doesn't show Ethereum. All right. But you've seen this before if you've been on the stream. And I'll try to pull it up when I'm done with the PowerPoint. But as you can see with those blue lines, every time inflation, right? That's what a 5-year break even it talks about. Every time inflation makes a new high, ETH makes a new high. So ETH's at 3K and it should be at 5K. Does that mean ETH can rally a lot? Yeah. And here's why. Okay. Mike Novogratz last night from Galaxy Digital says, did the merge rally, in other words, did the rally related to, the Ethereum plumbing changing, right? Has the merge rally started? I voted yes, figuring everybody was going to be like pro FOMO and everyone was going to be into it. And wait a minute, half the people don't think Ethereum can go up anymore. I was like, ruh-roh for Scooby-Doo fans. Let me get this straight. Mike just told you he got massively long ETH, okay? And half the people out there don't think Mike's right. Mike didn't get to be Mike for no reason. Let's take a look at Ethereum on a weekly chart. So the question is, do you want to pay $3,000 for ETH? My prior answer was no, because ETH was at the top of the range. Now, that may still be the answer, but if you look at ETH on a weekly chart, the bottom was actually 6 weeks ago. Okay, and now the rally may just be starting. So Ethereum has got a long way to go to catch up with inflation. That actually made zero hedge this morning. Happy to say I've been talking about that for well over a week and a half. Okay, this idea that the future of money, right, which includes ETH, which includes the shrinking supply of ETH, which includes the shrinking supply of Bitcoin, okay, really all this market needs is fresh new buyers. It needs a surge in demand. So if there's no surge, if there was ever a time for a surge in demand for crypto, it's got to be now. I mean, I can't believe it wouldn't be now. Now, if it's not now, we'll deal with that later. Okay, Ethereum is breaking out of a triangle. Okay, it retested the triangle and ramped 3% off the top line. So that's obviously constructive, right? Break out, bump, and run. So yeah, Ethereum's at 3,000, but that may be causing hesitation for buyers. In other words, things change from range to trend. You know when they change from range to trend? When everyone's convinced it's a range. Ranges happen when everyone's thinks it's trending, right? Oh, it's trending up. Wrong. Oh my God, it's trending down. Wrong. Oh my God, it's really going to go up this time. Wrong. Oh my God, it's going to zero. And then it goes back to the top end of the range and everyone goes, I'm not touching it. I'm not touching it. Get away from me with this. That's when trends start. Okay. So if that was ever going to happen, it could happen now. Now let's look at Ethereum versus Bitcoin. So I've been kind of a Bitcoin maxi a little bit over the last 2 weeks. Then I looked at this chart after Mike's tweet and I said, I wonder, could Ethereum outperform Bitcoin? Could we have some sort of a gap rally where ETH just reprices? It goes back to where it's supposed to be in relationship to inflation. Could that happen all at once? Could you just wake up and you could have it just be gone? Right? In other words, if everybody is convinced it's a range, could a trend begin? Okay, here is Ethereum. Oh, guess what? Token Metrics went bullish. The low frequency trend indicator went positive on ETH. Okay, the last signal on ETH was way back when, okay, in November. So I'm interested in this because these signals don't appear very often. Now let's go to the tactical view of ETH. Right now, there's a 13 top. Yesterday, I discussed that might create a bit of a dip, and that's all it created. And then there was a lurch higher towards 3,000, and then there's a 9 top, which could also create a pause, a dip. Now, if it creates a top and it falls out of bed, oh well. Oh well. But it could pay to try and grab the next dip. Maybe the dip is happening now as we're talking. Maybe ETH goes back to unchanged for the day. Okay. This is like crystal ball type of stuff. In other words, do you want to make a bet that the next dip is the last dip before this thing takes off? Okay. Let's look at Polkadot. Yes. Don't laugh. Polkadot, right? People were asking about Ren yesterday. This whole idea of interoperability, right? I'm really into stuff that no one owns, that everyone's given up on. I'm just interested in that, right? Nobody believes in the future of money and nobody believes in interoperability. So what happens if this bullish signal in Polkadot turns out to be true and Polkadot heads for 21 or 26? That'd be pretty effing funny, right? Now, let's talk about the geopolitical situation, and then I'll get to requests because I know the chat is burning for it. Okay. Russia left 30 of their 43 vehicles in a recent battle in Ukraine. They just left them. Okay. The Wall Street Journal reported this story, and it gives me an idea that the Russians actually may be getting their ass kicked. Okay. When like US news channels talk about things like this, I'm skeptical. When the Wall Street Journal writes about it, okay, it lends more credence. All right. Now, Russia losing on the battlefield, okay, may lead to something else. It may lead to something like cyber or a problem with banks. All right. Things that are unpleasant. Right. I mean, I can only speak for myself. I got Ethereum on my crypto.com card. I'm going to tell you about the future of money, and I don't front run my YouTube video, even though I'm not BitBoy, right? Okay. I'm not some huge guy that can move the market is what I'm saying. Okay. So, but even though I do all my work after I'm done. All right. So I tell you, and then I do my stuff. I'm doing Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Dash. I'm moving this stuff into a crypto account that's backed by a debit card. Okay. Now let's talk about oil. What's the risk to the view? In other words, what would make Bitcoin stop going up? Whether it stops going up at 44, 47, or 52. What stops crypto? What stops crypto is much higher oil. Yes, I know this is the point where everyone dips off the stream, but I think this is important. The US has like gotten rid of all of its oil. That's the Strategic Petroleum Reserve in the bottom right-hand corner. This chart shows, okay, that if oil goes above 125, it's going to 200. Now, why do we care about this? Well, you know, higher oil can hurt crypto. That's happened in the past. Or something new may be happening. That if oil goes up, that may be the force that slows down the economy. Yes, it makes prices go up, but it can hurt consumer spending. Okay? Oil is something we need to pay attention to because oil can still go up. All right? Now, I'm not going to go into all of the details, right? So I'll let you expand this if you're watching the video. But let me give you the bottom line. People who want to buy oil, if you work for a company or an airline and you want to buy 5 million gallons of jet fuel, okay, an energy company is going to tell you, haha, that's nice. I can only send you 200,000 gallons. So you need 5 million, but I can only sell you 200. Something has happened in oil where there's not going to be a lot of liquidity. So oil can move higher. Now, this makes my point. Here's my point. Make money in crypto while you can. Okay? Higher interest rates from here, in my mind, is bullshit. That helps crypto, right? But that may not be helpful to crypto later if oil goes up. Bottom line, make money while you can. Okay? If it's going to gap up 25%, in my opinion, you got to be there. And you got to be there now. And that is the market update. Okay. So let's take a look at our requests. Hopefully that market update worked for you. By the way, I did not include XRP in the future of money. And speaking of BitBoy, that guy is a quarter of an inch away. Looking at these XRP charts, I mean, it's hard to believe he could get more famous. But if XRP gaps to like $3, he might be. And XRP is a part of the future of money. All right. I just didn't include it because I like doing request-based work. I like to check the chart every day for XRP. Okay, mainly because of legal risk. So let's look at XRP. Now I'm going to start actually with the weekly and work back. Yesterday was start with the 4-hour charts and work to weekly. Now I'm going to start with the weekly. So XRP probably has to get above 92 cents to really say that there's a breakout. All of this action in the bottom right-hand corner, okay, all of this could be just like flushing everyone out, right? XRP really should be above $1, right? So should you FOMO into XRP? I have a different question. If XRP went to $1.50, okay, could you live with that if you were too scared to buy now? Or if you bought XRP at 84 cents and you got stopped out, would that make you upset? Which would make you more upset? Missing a move to $1.50 or getting stopped out on a tactical trade? Losing money is real, people. I mean, you could say, oh, well, I definitely want to get the rally. Okay, then get the rally. Do it. Just put a stop in. And if we're wrong, this is the point where with the token metrics mathematics behind me, I have not checked XRP, but this whole idea of alternative money, alternative payment systems is real. Now let's go to a 4-hour chart. Okay, so this is the 4-hour chart. Here's the 13 top and the 9 top. All right. So the good news is, you know, you can just wait, let people take profits and see if the bulls come in. So it's a psychological game now. It goes to the top end of the range. It makes a new high. No person in their right mind would buy it at the high. You don't want to buy it at the high. You want to buy it as soon as you see buyers come in, if they come in, right? So if it falls apart, this is a situation where you might be happy about it. because you can get this thing on a dip. This is going to be across the board. This is going to be across the board. Now let's just like completely get wild and change gears and go to the metaverse. Okay, NFT LA, it's coming up in equities. Okay, we have this thing where into conferences stuff can rally. Okay, in other words, if there's an energy conference or a tech conference where analysts or CFOs will be presenting, okay, people can FOMO into the stocks, anticipating a positive catalyst from either the work of the analysts or the presentations from the company. All right. If we're doing, NFT and metaverse, West Coast FOMO for an entire week, they're probably going to buy the stuff in advance. So Vulcan goes to $9.95, and has it paid to buy Vulcan at $9.95? No, it has not. It has not, which is why no one will do it. Now, look at this little candle here. You see the green coming in? Everybody sells at 10 because they've been taught to sell at 10, right? I've been like, don't FOMO. Now, buying a small dip is better than buying it on a massive green day. That's how I'm approaching it. So if you buy this dip and you lose money, so what? If Vulcan goes to 20 and you don't have it, now, could Vulcan go to 20? Is it worth the risk? Is it? Right? Like, is there a no bullshit answer to that question? Okay. Now, Vulcan's got a lot of resistance at 1097. So if it goes back up, it could go back up, say, $1. All right. Now, at the start of the year, okay, Vulcan was at, or at the start of February, Vulcan was at 16. Vulcan was also at 16, all right, back in January. So what's your risk reward? Okay, the risk reward is, you've got a moving average down here at what? 922. So the trade, I think, is risk 60 cents to make $7, not investment advice. And the best trades are the toughest trades. And right now, in my opinion, the tough trade is to buy it off a dip from resistance. Right? The tough trade used to be at 2,500. I used to get on the stream and go, I'm not selling, I'm not selling, I'm not selling. And then it would go up and I would go, I'm not buying, I'm not buying, I'm not buying. Well, the Token Metrics math has changed. I don't know if it's changed in Vulcan, but if you get yourself a subscription, you can check it out for yourself. All right. The question is, what's the risk reward? I think, right, this whole market favors FOMO, right? Because when bad guys show up on the cover, that's usually pause in the fear about bad guys. I'm not saying they're going away, but equities have kind of done their, imagination happy trade. I don't think it's happened in crypto yet. Matter of fact, it has not happened in crypto. Okay. Now let's take a look at XLM. Let's take a look at Stellar. Question is, okay, someone's talking about QNT. Very interesting. All right. Stellar looks like it could potentially have 2 more big up days. Okay. I'm sure the intraday chart's going to show Stellar overbought, and I'm sure the weekly chart is going to show it looks great. Right. In other words, everybody wanted it at 45. No one wanted it at 18. So this has got like a creep to it. It's like this creeping bid. So imagine 6 to 7 more weeks of upside in Stellar. Now, naturally, okay, Stellar is in a massive intraday FOMO mode, right? It's got the 9 and the 13 top going on, okay, which means it should pause. It paused over here. This is the 4-hour chart. So when Stellar gave you this signal last time, it paused. All right. Now, if Stellar doesn't pause, that should tell you something. Okay. So we got to read the price action. It's not just like, oh, it's a 13 and a 9. So, that's it. No, we got to think, right? Do you want to FOMO into this right this second? I wouldn't. Okay. Wait for the dip. If there's no dip and this signal doesn't work, and then the weekly chart is the chart framework you should be looking at, then go with that. Right? So if you're watching this video a day from now or 2 days from now, you're like, wow, did that intraday signal stop Stellar? Yes or no? The answer is no. The trend is on. The trend is on. Okay, MPL. So there's a Demark 9 top. Now, when you have a Demark 9 top, one of two things happens. You either get a top, okay, in a range trade. Okay, a 9 top comes from a quantitative system counting a certain set of conditions. Okay, when the set of whatever it is, like the high is higher than the high 3 days ago. For traders, we look for the set of conditions from 1 through 9, and we look for a separate set of calculations that goes from 1 to 13. So when you see a 13 or a 9, it's a powerful signal. When you see them together, it's even more powerful. All right. So Maple has got this big volatility warning, and it's gone from 20 to 38. That's what this smart stochastic does. Okay. I would say with the 9, you can get a rally, then you get a correction. So if there's a correction on this 4-hour chart and everybody comes piling back into Maple, that's a sign that this thing can go higher. Okay, I know Token Metrics has featured this a couple different times. Okay, again, here's the 9, right? Here's an example of what the 9 top does. There's the 9 signal, and there's your dip. One little red candle. Now, this thing looks like it's got 9 possible up days left. 9 possible up days. So if today's dip is not much of a dip, then there's an argument for this coin. Okay. Now let's see what else we got going on. I know that you guys are on fire out there. All right. First of all, I want to welcome everybody who joins in for the request part. There's PowerPoint people. So thank you for tuning in. And then we have the request crowd. So welcome to that. Okay. Now, QNT daily. Notice a sort of odd 13 top in a sideways market that can happen. No one cares. It's going up anyway. No one cares. Okay. If we look at QNT, right, this has an interesting fundamental story. Okay. It has an interesting fundamental story. Okay. It could be like an interoperability, a layer 1, a payment system, a way to move stable coins, central bank digital currencies in Latin America. Who knows? All right. So my chart system is not cooperating here to get to a weekly chart. Okay. But I suspect that things like this, if you're long them, not investment advice, stay long them. Stay long them. All right, let's check what's going on in the market while my computer figures itself out here. Okay, I'm going to stop the screen share. Okay, just for a second. I see we've got somebody asking for CEL. We hear you out there. All right, let me just get our chart system back up again. By the way, folks, if you like the content, please hit the like button. I noticed yesterday we got up to like 450 likes. That's pretty good. That's pretty good on that video from yesterday. So if you've been hitting the like button, thank you. We appreciate that. We appreciate that. Okay, and I'm still waiting for the Demark system to come up. So why don't I do the best I can with what we got going on here? We have CRV, so let's see what's going on with Curve. All right. So this looks like recently we've talked about a possible bullish reversal in curve. Okay. We might have been
Bill,
talking about
could
it.
you share your
I'm
screen?
not sharing the screen. Right. I'm sorry. All right. Thank you for that. Okay. So in curve, okay, most likely the reversal was down here. This was the reversal, this zone. Now curve is starting to turn. Now, one thing you have to be a little bit careful of is that when this Williams moving average gets near zero. So the question is, should you FOMO right into curve? Should you FOMO in right now? I would say no. Okay. I would say let it break out above this fractal at 232. So if you saw a daily close above 232, if you were long it, stay long it. Okay. Simple as that. If you were looking to get long it, then you can try after it closes above 232 to get involved. Okay. So what you're going to witness now is I'm going to kill my browser, right? And I've got to do something on the fly that I hate doing, which is have to shut off my browser and try to come back into my software programs. Okay, someone's saying I should go into Banter and do Around the Blockchain. I've actually been on that show a couple times. Okay, I definitely like that guy. He's very interesting. Okay, I haven't done the show in a couple years. I have not done the show in a couple years. So what I'm doing right now is I'm getting logged back in. So this is like in TV. You know, we appreciate your patience. The Demark service is coming back up again, right? Or so I hope. Otherwise, we're going to have to cut it short due to a technology fail. Let's hope that that's not the case. Okay, TradingView is back. Demark is not. Let's see what we got in the request queue. Fed funds rates will not battle inflation. Let's go crypto. When are we going to see the Token Metrics grade charts? You will see them on tokenmetrics.com. All right. Now, the quant department is working on the history of the grade. So I'm sorry I didn't get that question right away. They are furiously working on that. All right. Before I showed you that experimental graph, right, where we're sort of aggregating all the grades to make one crypto market indicator. So we're working on that. Okay, Demark is coming back. All right, I have somebody asking about Nano. So let's take a look at XNO to see what's going on there. Okay, Nano's hanging out today, up 2%. Okay, this is not the complete history of Nano. Let's look at the daily chart. Okay, now the Williams moving average work has reached some sort of balance.
Bill?
And I'm not sharing the screen. Sorry. Sorry. Okay, Demark is back. So here's QNT. So we thank you. We appreciate you for standing by. What has QNT done in 2022? Nothing. Nothing. Okay, let's draw a simple line. A simple line. Okay. Do you realize that this crypto is kind of below where it was when it launched on Binance? Right? That means everything that's happened this year could be just artificially depressed, bullshit. Right? In other words, if you believe in the fundamental case for this, everything you've seen this year has been designed to wear you out. And that's what crypto can do. So can bull markets. So can bear markets. They just wear you out. In other words, January to March or November to March really has been a mini 2019. It has just worn people the F out. Worn people out, right? Okay. Somebody's asking for CEL. So I'm smoking here on the Demark work, trying to get caught up. Okay, so this is Celsius, and this looks just like QNT. Now, honestly, there's resistance at 325. It's tried to break 325. 1, 2, 3, and this is the 4th attempt. So if they're successful, it will mean something has changed. Now, when you're out there and you're trying to figure out, okay, is this something I want to jump into, right? Am I brave enough to jump in when jumping in has gotten you smoked? My normal answer is no. For today, I'm saying I'm willing to try. If we get stopped out, F it, we'll reload and recalibrate later. I don't think I want to miss a 25% move. So if there's going to be a dip, let's take advantage of the dip. Let's try to get it on a dip or on a pause. Now, this is Celsius weekly. Okay. Now, what has happened here this year? Nothing. Nothing. This thing was where it was at the start of the year. Nothing is happening. It's like, hey, good morning. It's January 1. What do you want to do? Okay. This thing's worn you out for 10 weeks. Just worn you out, bored you to death, made you think it's no good. Now, I'm not an expert in altcoin fundamentals, but what I do notice is that this stuff's worn out and the token metrics indicators are sort of like issuing the time to wake up bell. Does that mean you're going to automatically make money? No. But it also means that you could wake up with a year's worth of crypto gains in a week or a month. All right. I wouldn't want to miss that. How would you do it? Well, you'd have a small position. So if you were long this, stay long it, not investment advice. If you wanted to get long it, okay, get long it, find a dip, find a pause, right? The short-term charts are all overbought. Wait for a dip and then go. Okay, let's look at XNO because I know we had that in there, right? And I'm looking at Nano, right? And I'm just like, how is this not going up? Like, seriously, like, what is the bearish argument for Nano? Well, there's a little bit of a warning sign about volatility. That volatility could be to the downside, right? I don't want to like get dogmatic and fall in love with it. But if it's above Demark, like key level at 226, right? In other words, if there is another push in Nano, maybe that's how you play it. You go with the Mo, right? Going with the Mo has not paid off. But if you go with the Mo this time, maybe it will. That's how I would do it. Okay. Wow. Okay. Polkadot. We covered Polkadot earlier. Not on the intraday charts, though. Okay, so, I mean, we're working with 90-minute charts here. I want to go to 4-hour. Wow, chat's on fire. Okay, so Polkadot. All right, Polkadot, like I said, on a intraday chart, Polkadot has made a 13 top. I'm wondering if anything below 21 on Polkadot. I conferred with one of my friends earlier. We looked at the charts and we're saying, all right, if this does go up, okay, this is actually the Polkadot daily chart, okay, where this 13 signal is. So, oh, no, that's not the daily chart. This is the daily chart, Okay. This is what we were talking about, right? Where's the resistance on this chart, right? The support, right, is at 1868. The resistance is at 2776. And that's all I need to say, right? There's like wide open spaces here if this thing ever decided to catch up. Okay. Rune. Okay. Now, Rune has been outperforming. Okay. What about Tether? Is that a good buy? Honestly, I prefer Bitcoin to stable coins. Even though there's price risk in Bitcoin, God forbid, God help us all, there was ever a problem with bank debt and Tether was holding short-term bank commercial paper. Okay. All right. Rune, you get the 9 top, right? But it's not topping. It's not topping. It's just sitting there. Okay. Now there's a gap. There's a gap at 10. So buying it in front of a gap may not make sense. But I said that last week at the end of the week, and Rune, while I thought Rune was going to go down, up, and Rune went up, down. So this thing is wild and unpredictable. Should you be long now? I don't know. If you were long, should you stay long? Yes, because if it takes out 10, it's gone. This has been a leadership coin. It's been like a one coin market until Bitcoin woke up today. So it looks like people are, it's like a stalemate, right? And if it's a stalemate, it's going to take out 10. So I'm maintaining a bullish posture in Rune. Okay, what was the analysis for QNT? The analysis for QNT is that QNT is where it was at the start of the year. And it's done nothing but bore people to death. So there's a sideways 13 top here, and then it started to go up. Nothing has changed in QNT, right? Everybody gave up on it, and it's been consolidating. So if you like it, stay with it. Perp. Oh, this is like the heartbreaker coin. And I want to pull up Rune too, right? Because we talked about Rune yesterday for interoperability. It was on support. I don't know. It's just, you know what? When it comes to Perp, it's like a 13 bottom on the daily, and now it's starting to get perky on top of a moving average. Feels like a bird on a wire getting ready to fly, right? You don't want to get long Perp at 7. You want to get long Perp at 3. Okay. Right now, Perp is hanging out around 4. And again, how beat up and destroyed can something be? Maybe it's got another couple weeks of downside. I don't know. Okay. I'd be more prone to want to get long on a dip in stuff like Perp. Okay. Chainlink. Chainlink, 9 bottom yesterday. Oh, this is 9 bottom last week with Chainlink turning up. Chainlink pulled up in front of support at $10. Okay, let's go to the 4-hour chart. All right, we know what this is probably going to look like. Okay, it's going to be a 13 and a 9 top. Right, so it's going to be toppy. The last topping signal in Chainlink, it went from $14.67 to $14.14. So if this top doesn't produce any downside, Chainlink is probably going to go up. Should you buy it right this second? No, it's 121 on Tuesday the 22nd. Okay, but if Chainlink demonstrates that the buyers are in charge, namely the first dips bought, or there's a breakout above a resistance at 1620, if I was long Chainlink, stay long Chainlink. Make the market prove you wrong if you're bullish. Based on the Token Metrics mathematics. Why have TokenMetrics.com? Why am I telling you that something is changing? The 4 most dangerous words in the English language are "this time is different." Okay? So with that said, why would I indicate that things may be changing? Because the momentum indicators are all beeping positive. A lot of times they beat positive at the top end of intraday trading ranges. So we'll know 2-3 days from now whether or not it paid to go with the Mo, or whether or not it paid to grab stuff on the first dip. Christopher says total 3 looks exciting now. He's actually right about that, right? In many ways, I'm so sick of total 3. Glad you brought it up. Don't get me wrong. Glad you brought it up. But I'm so tired of this chart. It's exhausting, right? Because it's got this head and shoulders formation that we have gone back and forth on, right? In other words, is this a bearish chart or a bullish chart? Let's go to the weekly, right? So here's total 3. Here's the head and shoulders, right? The neckline is at 713. So if altcoins can get above 713 billion, then total 3 is okay. Okay. Personally, I prefer larger coins to smaller coins, even though smaller coins have done well lately. But it only takes one big week for a possible invalidation of the pattern. Generally speaking, prefer Bitcoin and ETH and big coins, but that's just me. Okay. I know the audience is tuning in to see what's going on with smaller coin. The name Perp is killing me. Yes, I know. I feel you. Okay, checking Zilliqa now. All right, so all of these coins on a 4-hour chart are going to look the same, right? It all looks overdone, period, right? So you may get a dip, all right? And if you do, then you make a decision. So let's look at Zilliqa weekly, because we've been going back and forth between the 4-hour and the weekly. So yeah, it's overbought short term, but last week was a 9 bottom. So if Zilliqa is ever going to go up, it'll ignore the intraday topping signals, dip a little, and then go. Now, I know on YouTube, everyone's like, oh my God, I have to have this definitive prediction, right? You have to tell me that, you know, the damn bunny ETF is going to 200x. I would love to be able to tell you that, right? Realistically, as an analyst, I can just give you a strategy, right? If a tactical signal gives you a dip, take the dip. If you get stopped out, who cares, right? If you make money, right? If you catch a bigger move, then, hey, you caught a bigger move, right? Because there's not that many big moves in crypto this year. It sucked, right? So if Bitcoin and ETH smoke to the upside, you want to be there in the coins that you like, okay? Is Algorand dead? Seems like we talk about that a lot, which I don't mind. I don't mind. People are miserable in altcoins. I think people in crypto have just become miserable in general, right? Which is why I'm interested, right, in crypto actually going up, like a lot. So no one is interested. No one. Like Google searches for NFTs, right? Even my video yesterday, I'm like, hey, long Bitcoin, short the banks. Bitcoin goes up 4%. No one watched the video, except for you nice people. No one cares. Now, is Algorand dead? I don't know. If you look at this weekly chart, I would say no, right? Are there sellers at $1? Are venture capitalists up there selling? Yeah, maybe. Maybe. Okay. But if you were long it and you've suffered this long, well, why don't you hang on a little bit? Now, I'm sure when we go to the 4-hour chart, it's going to tell you to get out, right? It's going to be a topping signal, right? So there's the topping signal. They're all the same. They're all the same. Okay. So there's your 9 top, and then you're going to get a dip. There's going to be a dip, and the question is, can you buy the dip and make money? Can you buy the dip? Okay. Driftless says there are very few hodl coins in crypto. It's mostly a trader's market. That's true. It's been a trader's market. So let the top signals play out. Let the dip happen or the pause. Okay. Okay. Dusk. Let me see if I can get that on this. All right, so this is a little bit of a different look, right? There's no 13 or 9 signal top on the intraday chart. The coin's currently trading at 37 cents. Resistance is up at 43 cents. Let's go to the daily chart. Okay, so you got the 13 bottom, and then it's rolling to the 9 top. Okay, next day or so higher. All right. So I think what I would say with Dusk is there has to be a fundamental catalyst for things to break out. You have to want to see people pay higher prices. Let's look at the weekly. Okay, again, all of these things look the same. It looks like last week was a bottom. A very patient person is asking, can we check VeChain? So let's work off the weekly. Okay, VeChain is sitting on top of a moving average support. Okay, and what has VeChain done for the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks? Nothing. Tortured you, made you question the position, shaking you out. Let's look at VeChain on a 4-hour chart. Again, I'm sure it's the same look, right? So there's resistance at 0.054. Okay, here's the dip off the 9 top, and there are the buyers coming back in. Okay, things are changing. Okay, things are changing. Marco, welcome. I appreciate that you like the stream. Yes, someone's saying possible rounding bottom in VeChain. Yes, possibly. Yes. Okay, have I looked at Aave? Yes, we looked at Aave. I'm a little jelly that I didn't catch it at the bottom. It's a lot of good support there. So 4-hour chart of near, not exciting, okay, at resistance. Let's see what the near daily chart's telling us. Okay, so, you know, your possible rounding bottom, right? Your triangle or your teacup and handle. There's a lot of things you can draw in near. Near at $10 feels like fair value. So if you like it fundamentally and you want to stay with it, stay with it. If you want to go with it, go with it. Make the market force you out. Okay, FEG. Okay, no read there. Let's get FEG going up here. Okay, nobody home there. Okay, here comes FEG token. Okay, assuming I'm in the right place and I got the right symbol, this actually looks kind of interesting. I don't really have a price scale. Let me see if I can get something better. Okay, there's FEG token. Again, hopefully I'm in the right place here. So FEG token looks washed out. Now, you do have to be careful if there's another rally that fails. There's a spike. This is like a give up trade, right? Everybody packed it in here, right? So 2 things about this. If I got the right token, I don't like seeing double spikes. I don't like big spike fail and big spike fail. I don't like that. Okay, that can be scary. All right. Now, that said, okay, whatever this is trying to make a green candle for today. So it looks like everybody gave up again. And the question is, if it makes a bullish candle, will there be follow through? Bullish reversal candles don't mean anything unless you get a green candle following. It can be a day or 2 later, but you want to see this go green because, again, you may have people pounding on this. So don't get caught. Okay, let's see what we got in SYS. Okay, not on this one. Okay, I'm pretty sure we talked about this yesterday. Don't mind doing it again today. Okay, now I've heard interesting things about this coin. I've heard the people who like this thing think it's like a Rune competitor. That was cocktail party conversation. Technical analysis, I would want to see it above 64 cents, right? Okay. In other words, nothing has happened. It's bored you to tears. We talked about that across the range of altcoins. Now, with some of these coins, again, you want to see people willing to pay higher prices. That includes the stuff that's at resistance on the 4-hour chart, right? In other words, if something goes to the top end of the range and does a modest dip, you want to see people going, you know what? I want it here. I'm not going to wait for it to go back to the bottom of the range. I want it here. We got to wait and see if that happens. So if you're watching this video, today's the 22nd. If you're watching this video 2 days from now, like on the 24th, ask yourself, look at the chart. Are people willing to pay higher prices for Bitcoin, ETH, or the coin that I'm interested in? The answer is yes. Token Metrics on its trend following indicators in many coins is telling you that it's time to go with the Mo. That's the title of the video, right? Is momentum back? Okay. Aave didn't forget about you. All right. So I've seen like smart trading types, taking the money in coins like this, right? It's gone up and they're done, right? They caught it at Demark support near 110 and they're out. I get that, right? So there's the 4-hour chart. Okay. Aave ironically made a 9 bottom. Interesting, right? Now, is Aave done? I don't know. If Aave took out 162, Aave may not be done. It may not be. I mean, if the market's going to go up, right, it stands to reason that some big altcoins are going to follow Bitcoin and Ethereum. Could Aave go to 236? Well, I don't know if I want to make that the title of a video because I'm going to sound like a FOMO moon boy. But if Aave doesn't go down, in other words, everyone's taking their money now. I get that, right? But let's look at the weekly chart, okay? I bet last week's rally doesn't look like anything on a weekly chart. So there was the support at 113, right? Right? That's what the smart, the savvy trader dudes, I mean, look at this give up trade. 13 bottom up. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 weeks. You want to know who was bullish after 11 weeks down at 113? Probably nobody. That's why it moved the way it did when everyone was like, hey, look at this, right? Everybody gave up. The question is the give up trade, right? The rally off the give up trade, is it a 1 week phenomenon or is it a multi-week phenomenon? It may be a multi-week phenomenon, right? Could be a 2-week phenomenon. 2 weeks in crypto is forever. So if it's the last week in March and the first week in April, that's upside. How much upside for Aave? Well, again, it depends, right? Yes, note the divergence. Prices made new low, but the Demark Smart moving average stochastic did not make new low. Okay. Where did I set that bottom indicator on the chart? That sets itself, right? That's called the Demarker, right? Demark, that's the guy's name, and ER after it. Okay. Not exactly the catchiest name ever, but it's essentially a smart stochastic. It's so smart, sometimes it's hard to read. In this case, it's kind of a no-brainer, okay? Especially the way Aave traded, but that's in retrospect. Cube, okay, looking for Cube. Okay, no Cube on this. Okay, going to trading view to check Cube. We should probably check the overall market. Okay, Cube's up. Everything's up. Let's try to go over here and look at Cube. Okay, Cube. All right, what does Cube look like? It looks like another destroyed altcoin. Okay, all of these altcoins are just wrecked. Drawing trend lines can sometimes be a very subjective game. Sometimes if you get too subjective, you can get in trouble. But I have to say, I'm going to label this. It looks like we have bump and run in Cube, right? It broke out, everyone sold, right? And now it's trying to move out and break out again. You know, all this metaverse stuff that no one would even think about buying in a world filled with these guys, okay? It's got a convention next week, right? Like NFT, metaverse. I mean, if this stuff is not going up in a positive Bitcoin, Ethereum environment in front of an NFT conference or right after it, when is it ever going up? Okay. So I see the chat's on fire for Gala. Okay. So let's see what's happening. You know, Gala went way up and it's not doing anything. Nobody wants to pay higher prices for Gala. Okay. Now, what does that mean? Well, okay, so here's Gala on an intraday chart, right? Gala goes up and it 9 tops and then it goes down. And then Gala goes up and there's a 9 top and then it might go down. Well, what if it doesn't? That's the question you should be asking yourself, right? In other words, we can sit here and look at all these 4-hour charts. They're all going to look the same. The question is, 2 days after you watch this video, did buyers show up in the coin that you care about? If buyers show up in the coin that you care about, either as a dip buyer or people saying, you know what, the hell with this range, I want it, then go with that. So as the sound of my voice hits, you know, the airwaves, I don't think you have to FOMO right this second. I don't. But I do think you have to take a shot at buying the dip. And if it doesn't work, who cares? Okay, because if it goes up, right, you want to make sure you participate. Wow. All right. So Metaverse on fire in the chat. By the way, folks, for on-demand TA, let's hit the like button, and we would appreciate it if you would subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. That helps us out. Okay, so Sandbox, nothing going on the 4-hour chart one way or the other. Let's look at the daily. Okay, so Sandbox daily, 13 bottom on support. I looked at this. I was like, oh, that's interesting. Okay, should have been more bullish, explodes, and then does nothing for like 5 or 6 days. So I would describe this as neutral. Let's look at the weekly chart. Okay. Let's look over here. I know the Demark work makes for great television, but let's see if there's anything going on in Sandbox. Let's see if the fib speed resistance lines are telling us anything. Now, what's a fib speed resistance line? Well, it's useful if you're looking for like a breakout after a down move and then a range, particularly in something like this that's been absolutely like wrecked relative to its all-time high, right? So like, how do you know if something's ever going to come back? Okay. Wow. So interesting, right? Sandbox goes, see, and then you just look at these lines for reference. So those lines were resistance here and here. And Sandbox broke out there. The next line in Sandbox is at 379. So if there's a Metaverse FOMO rally, Sandbox can go to 379. Let's go back over here and go to Decentraland on a 4-hour chart. So Decentraland on the 4-hour chart doesn't look like anything. Resistance is at 253. Let's head over here to see if there's anything interesting on this chart. Let's see if, in fact, it's time to look at, to start looking at Metaverse. Okay, so these lines are not working as well in Decentraland as they were in Sandbox. What does that mean? It means I don't have the greatest read for you, to be honest. Let's just look at the daily chart one more time in Decentraland. Okay, so what I can tell you is that, you know, it broke out and it's been sitting on a Demark Smart moving average. Right? So everyone is selling at 255 and buying at 238. It's kind of like they're winding up the spring. Okay, let me get the smart stochastic going on this. Okay, so I would say Decentraland could have upside to 264. Okay, not exciting, but remember, there is a Metaverse NFT conference coming up. So if it's ever going up, okay. Okay, Pennsylvania in the house. Yes, we did Sandbox. Okay, possibly $1 worth of upside in Sandbox to say 378. Okay, someone asking for Engine Coin. Okay, so on the daily chart, nothing has happened in Engine Coin, and the next rally is probably a 9 top. I'm guessing if we go to the intraday chart, we're going to get the same type of view, right? We're going to see, I don't know, sideways to choppy action, not a lot happening. Support is at $1.40. I'm not saying it looks bad. I'm not saying it looks good. Okay, again, if you look at a weekly chart, right? Last week was the 9 bottom, and we don't know if this is the start of a larger up move from 140 to the next resistance at 254. We don't know how much speculative juice is in the crypto market. Now, if I was long Engine Coin, would I stick with it? Yes, not investment advice. I would just stick with it, right? I mean, you put up with all this pain, you might as well see if this really is a 9 bottom, right? And the focused chart, right? This is the art of technical analysis. What chart are you looking at? The weekly, the daily, the 5-minute? So if you look at the weekly in Engine Coin, like everything else, you're asking yourself, hey, why don't I give it a chance? Why don't we give crypto a chance? Maybe that's what I should have called the video. All right, now, speaking of giving crypto a chance, what possible rationale is there for selling Cardano with last week being a 13 and a 9 bottom? So we opened up the week at 88 cents, and Cardano is currently trading at 97 cents. How about Cardano at $1.64? Now, I'm sure if we go to an intraday chart, it'll be overbought, which of course it is, right? So, there's Cardano, everyone rolling in, okay? And now you may get a dip. You may get a dip. If you get the dip, take advantage of it. If there's no dip, well, okay. But, we want to be intelligent about how we approach trading. So something can be positive long-term, but tactically, if it's overdone, that should give you a chance at a dip. That could be tomorrow. Or it could just move sideways. Now, here's UMA. Okay, UMA on a 4-hour chart is boring everyone to death. So nothing is happening here. Okay, let's look at a daily chart. Nothing is really happening here. Let's look at a weekly chart. Okay. Now, this might be a good nothing is happening here. Okay. So UMA spiked up, went to resistance, came back down. There's a 13 and a 9 bottom. Now, if you were stuck with this, you do have downside risk to 589. So I know I'm kind of like cowboy, if you've been long it, don't sell it, that type of stuff. You just want to make sure you don't get wrecked. Okay. I would say, support is probably 665. Right. This is an encouraging Demark count. So if you get the positive catalyst or you get a huge lurch in the market, there is some hope here. Okay. One of the things that this thing has done is just kill everybody because you've had to sit here, right? There was a give up trade in May of last year and it never came back. And every time it goes up, everyone's selling. You have to ask yourself, are the sellers out of ammo? This is not just this coin. Are the sellers out of ammo? I did perp. I will do it again. I'll do perp again because I like pain. Okay. So perp weekly, right? 2 weeks potentially away from a bottom, maybe. Okay. Okay. This is close to a bottom. Okay. The thing is with perp, when you get stopped out, when they blow it out, they blow it out. This is perp on a weekly, on a daily chart. And let's go to 4-hour, right? Okay. Okay. So on a 4-hour chart, you've got the 13 and the 9 top, and it has not paid to buy it with those numbers. It has not, right? You had these numbers on Friday. There was a dip, but the market came right back. That's the question, right? You got to ask yourself. It's like, all right, some of the token metric stuff is turned, not necessarily in this, right? But if there's a dip in Bitcoin, are you buying into the future of money? Do you want to take a shot at ETH and Polkadot? I say take the shot. Okay, I say take the shot. Okay, doing crypto.com now. Have not looked at this in a while, by the way. Notice there's a 13 top here. This is what I'm talking about, right? You get the 13 top on the 4-hour chart, and then buyers are coming back in. Now, I know there's resistance at 43 cents, but notice that, nobody's running away and going, oh my God, I got to get out like they were back here early March, right? It was like, oh God, I got to get out. And that was actually at the higher end of the range. I don't know if there's anything on this weekly chart that's going to be meaningful. Okay. What I do know is that this went to $1 and failed. No, everyone wanted it at $1, and no one seems interested at 42 cents. Now, I don't know about the tokenomics of this token. The daily chart is not exciting. You probably have one more candle to a 9 top. So I would describe this as wait and see. You're going to need an overall crypto alt rally for stuff like this to go along. Or you're going to need an announcement that someone's changing the tokenomics. Okay, that said, there's really no resistance until 50 cents because this thing has tortured you for how long? If you've put up with it for this long, give it another week. Okay, baby ape. Baby ape. I'm trying to find it versus the dollar. All right. So I'm not dissing on baby ape because I don't know anything about it. Okay. But when people start like FOMOing into stuff that they don't understand, I know that people made money in this kind of stuff. Okay, I'm going to try this one more time over here to see if it came up on TradingView. Okay, the only way I can get this is versus wrapped ETH. So let's see what it gives me versus ETH. Okay, I'm not getting anything. I appreciate you came in. All right, we're going to have to come back on that. I'm going to have to make a note. So we have XEM. Okay, XEM. So the stream's losing steam here. All right. The question with all of these coins is anybody willing to pay higher prices in the small altcoin space? WRX. Okay, so this is interesting. There's a 13 and a 9 bottom, a big rally today, but it's holding support. I'm sorry, it's holding against resistance at 64 cents. Now, I'm sure when you look at the 4-hour chart, it's going to give you the same signals. Now, one thing that's interesting is, sometimes when you get the 9 top, it's over, it's done, right? But over here, you got the 9 top, it came off, and then it rallied again. So the question is, if it comes back down to 60 cents, is there anybody looking to buy this? Right? So you had the FOMO move, right? And it could be a larger trend if somebody shows up to buy it. Okay. I need a roadmap for Cosmos. We haven't talked much about Cosmos. Okay. Because it hasn't done anything, right? It's a huge outperformer, and now it's been underperforming, lulling everybody to sleep. Okay, so Cosmos has done nothing. Let's look at the weekly chart on Cosmos. Okay, so when I look at the weekly chart on Cosmos, to me, it looks like a creeping bid. In other words, what would happen one day if you woke? Where would Cosmos be if Bitcoin gapped to 52 and ETH gapped to 4,000? In other words, right now it doesn't pay to buy ETH at 3. You wait for the dip. But if the dip is shallow and the market takes off, there is a lot of room for Cosmos to go up. And a seller's attempts to push it down, at least on a weekly basis, have not worked. In other words, people bought the dip and then everybody was selling this. Well, they haven't been able to push it down. They have not been able to push it down. Now, as we wind up here, okay, Parrish is asking, when do you expect a bear market? Okay, well, hello from our friends from Ireland. Okay, there's also somebody asking for Casper. So let me share the screen again and do that. I think you have to be careful of sell in May and go away, right? That was what you had to deal with last year. And it could be the exact same thing this year. Right? In other words, will these guys have a say? Will they? My guess is the answer is yes, that they're not done yet. Right now, the market, the equity market in particular, is pricing in that they're done. Is that correct? I don't think so. Now, in crypto, I almost don't care. I don't care, because if the world, it says the alternative world order, the friendship between these two states has no limits. If cryptocurrency does not have a place in that world, well, F me. F me. Okay? So could there be a bear market in risk assets? Could crypto get dragged down with stocks? Yes, it could. In May, yes, it could happen. May, July, but we're not there yet. So, all right. So Casper. All right. So everyone gave up, right? Prices made a new low. Momentum indicators really did not. It's close. Maybe, maybe not. All right. It looks like Casper is coming back up above 0.072. Okay. And the alligator moving average is starting to turn. So either Casper is going to do nothing, or Casper is going to join the ranks of destroyed altcoins that everyone gave up. I mean, look at this. Look at this, right? I mean, what person, unless you just were like, you know what, I'm not selling. I don't care. I'm just not selling, right? That's the only way you survived this. And then when everyone gives up and then they stop giving up, it turns around. Saw this in Jasmy, right? The Jasmy guy called in like 4 days in a row. What about Jasmy? I was like, oh, dude, the pain was incredible, right? The price action was awful, and it just turned around. Okay. Just turned around. Okay. All right. AXS. Okay, so an obvious green FOMO day in this, I would say in AXS, right? This is Axie. Okay, if it got above a fractal at 540 or 55.08, as you could say, this thing was in business. Okay, so let's check the market to make sure I'm not off base here before we go home. Okay. So Bitcoin, ETH up 3-4%. That's how we're closing it out. So let's sum it up, because I've been doing that. Hopefully that's helpful. Let's sum it up. Right now, I think there's a greater chance that the next dip is a dip to grab it for a move in Bitcoin to either 44, 47, or 52. If it's not time for Bitcoin, I don't know when it's time for Bitcoin. This includes digital cash solutions and the future of money, as we featured with the work of TokenMetrics.com. Also with the TokenMetrics.com work, this could be a turn in the overall crypto market, which makes things like ETH and Polkadot interesting. Okay. So bigger altcoins, and this also offers an opportunity in front of NFT LA for smaller altcoins to potentially do well. So it's almost like Bitcoin is holding back. You know, Bitcoin is protecting you from the bad men and all the bad things that can happen for the moment. So give crypto a chance. Give it a chance, right? If you get stopped out, so what? If you miss a 25% up move, you're going to be unhappy, right? So wait for the dip, see if buyers show up. If buyers show up, then do what you need to do. All right, folks, that's it for today. I'm your host, Bill Noble. I will be here tomorrow.